Okay, so the second greatest accomplishment that I'm proud of in my lifetime was in helping others achieve their dreams. And I call myself a rocket launcher now, and I'll explain that in a minute. But my first lifetime, I was totally focused and passionate about sports performance and health fitness to the point where in my undergrad I decided that was going to be my life's purpose. And I was going to become the ultimate authority on sports performance and health fitness. And what happened was, I started out, I said, well, I got to get my master's. So I applied and was accepted at University of Cincinnati. That was where I was living at the time. And so my goal was to become a strength coach and coach at the collegiate or the pro level. But what happened was, as with most people's life path, it changed dramatically almost when I started my master's. Within a few months, the director of the department called me in and said, "Hey, the University of Cincinnati Hospital wants to start a health promotion program for the employees, for 5,000 doctors, nurses, dietitians, etc. And you were the top candidate. I recommended you." So I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so all of a sudden, I went from wanting to be a strength coach to taking on developing a full program of health promotion for employees. And it was in conjunction with everybody at the medical center. I could ask people to be on my staff or consulting board, and so it was the biggest opportunity and eye-opening experience in my life. Changed my life because all of a sudden I could pull from like UC Sports Medicine, the physical therapists and the orthopedic guys and the exercise physiologists. It was unbelievable. So in that process, I developed and worked for a few years in that department, developing the program. And UC Sports Medicine at the time was world renowned for starting one of the early sports medicine centers. And the physical therapist I worked with was the most passionate and one of the most intelligent guys I ever met, really dedicated. And it was just being able to tap into that. And because of that, I was able to put together a screening process, medically based, multidisciplinary, and it was really in depth. And so what happened was, once I developed that screening process, that really went across the board. And it wasn't just blood testing or physical or anything like that. It was the full stress testing with max VO2. It was full musculoskeletal eval, dietary analysis, etc. And so once I developed that, the board at the hospital said, "Well, we want you to do a corporate outreach for this." And so they hired me on the outside to reach out to corporations and offer this testing and the corporate fitness programs. And so again, strength coaching went that way, and my career went a different way. But in doing that, I guess I got pretty cocky and decided I wanted to do this on my own. I didn't want the medical center telling me what to do. So I created the idea and obtained funding for was almost $2 million, and bought a facility and opened it up. It was called the Human Performance Institute in North Lake Athletic Club. It was a real high-end training center, personal training, all that. And through that process, over those years, I helped thousands of individuals achieve their sports performance and their health fitness goals. Executives, elite athletes, pro athletes. And there were a few instances where the medically based fitness screening saved someone's life. I had more than one guy, a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Hey, I met this guy at the party. He said you saved his life." And I said, "Well, it wasn't me." And what happened was, he was the advertising promotion guy that we hired to do the brochures for the program. And so he was having trouble understanding the testing process and how he was going to describe that because it was so complicated. I said, "Well, why don't you go through it?" And when he went through the program, they found out he had a major heart defect, and they literally did open heart surgery and corrected it. And so that's why he said I saved his life, but it wasn't me. It was a screening. But the screenings were very in depth. It was the same thing you would see on Wide World of Sports, where an Olympic athlete was being tested. That's kind of stuff that we were doing. And then once that was done, I moved to Florida, was still doing gym turnarounds and work with elite athletes and things. And I had the opportunity to get in real estate. So my life took another path. But it was always the same. Goal was always the same, and that was to help my client reach their goals and dreams, whether it be a vacation home or second home or luxury home, whatever. And it was in my 40s that I finally came into my own and fully embraced this gift that I can now call a rocket launcher. I started coaching and mentoring struggling businesses. And it was then that I learned that name, or called it being a rocket launcher. And a client actually clarified it for me. I thought I had this business genius or knack for analyzing strengths and weaknesses. And when we were talking about it, she said, and I'd taken her from, I think she never made more than $2,000 a month, and I took her up to $10,000 a month. And she told me it was my ability to help my client identify the next steps and then support them, give them the confidence to launch themselves to the next level. And that was sort of the knack I have. And so I fully embrace it now. But really the thing I'm most proud about is being able to help others reach their goals and dreams. And it didn't matter what field I'm in. That was who I am. Is I'm a rocket launcher.